Hey guys, it's Matt Higgins. I wanted to apologize for my extended absence. I got back to school early so that I could be in RA training, which is a pretty intense 2 weeks, so that's the reason for my absence. And I just got finished with the first week, so I'm going to get back on those regular uploads. But today I wanted to go over who the different participants were in the Boonta Eve Classic that we see in the Phantom Menace. So as you all know, our characters put stake in the pod race as it would be key to getting a new hyperdrive unit. The Boonta Eve pod race was an annual pod race that took place in Mos Espa's Grand Arena. Funds for the race were provided by the Hutts, who of course oversaw the race. Anakin Skywalker won that year's race, completing the circuit in 15 minutes and 42 seconds. In 32 BBY, there were 18 participants. First, in alphabetical order, we have Eldar Beto, a Glymphed who was one of the few racers who actually finished the race and ended up finishing third place. Dud Bolt, a Volpterine, quickly fell out of contention for the top prize, but would continue with racing after the Boonta Eve Classic. Ibi Endcott, a Triffian, came in fourth place right behind Eldar Beto. Gasgano was a Zesto, who finished in second in the Boonta Eve pod race. Mars Guo was a Bardodan, who was sabotaged by Sebulba but seemed to have survived the breakup of his pod. Clegg Holdfast was a Nosarian and an esteemed pod racing hobbyist. Whether he completed the race is unknown. Neva Key was a Zamster who searched for a shortcut and never returned and was presumed dead. Odie Mandrell was an Urkit who had good positioning throughout the race until he had to make a pit stop and a droid was sucked into the engine, permanently damaging it. Ma Honik was a Gran whose pod was also destroyed by Sebulba. His current fate is unknown. Ben Quadraneros, a Tuong, was never able to leave his starting position as his power coupling failed and permanently eliminated him from the race. Teamto, a Vecnoid, had his pod destroyed by Tusken Raiders, but was able to survive. Bowles Roer was a previous Boonta Eve winner with 2 titles under his name, but came in 6th place during the race in the Phantom Menace. Ark Roos, a Nuknog, was unable to finish the race after a collision with Dud Bolt. Despite his extensive injuries, he managed to survive. Juan Sandage was a Devlik pod racer, whose fate after the Boonta Eve pod race was unknown. Sebulba was a Dug who was considered a favorite during the race, but ended up having his pod racer break apart before he could finish. Anakin Skywalker, of course, a human, won the Boonta Eve pod race after fighting out Sebulba on the last lap. Rats Tyrell was an Alina who perished during the race after he collided with a stalactite in a cave. The last known canon participant of the Boonta Eve Classic in 32 BBY was Zelbree. We don't know much about Zelbree, except that he was just mentioned in the brand new book Star Wars Super Graphic, A Visual Guide to a Galaxy Far, Far Away. So that's about it, guys. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more prequel-related content, including lore, discussions, as well as anything canon about the prequel trilogy. Thanks, guys, and may the Force be with you always.